talk about my son and his seizure. In here I'm going to talk about two things because they kind of go together. Um, I have been noticing how very disturbed. I'm very, very disturbed by noises. Um, very disturbed by noises, and in part that is because every single major relationship I have been in, the man has had seizures. My child's father, although I never saw him have a seizure, he did have a few while we were together over the years, a couple times behind the wheel of a car. Then the man I was engaged to after that, when he was a kid, he had a aneurysm in his brain, and it left scar tissue, so he had seizures every single day. Most the every single day they were small. I don't small seizures that were like ticks. His I'm pretty sure I talked about it before, but it was an inhale and a kind of click. Um, but he had many grand mal. I don't know, are they tonic clonic? I don't know what they're. I've always called them grand mal. Um, Seizures. One time he was in the pool and he almost drowned and was on a ventilator, and yeah. Then of course my ex, most current ex-husband, he ended up, I think he was in his 30s before he had his first seizure. But they were constant once he started having them. They were freaking constant. And he had every seizure imaginable. I've seen seizure. Oh my gosh, all kinds of different seizures, and I'm sure he's still having them. Hopefully on a controlled level, but so and then my son ended up epileptic like his dad. Um, so when I hear bumps, especially bumps, I am worried. I immediately go into who's having a seizure. Do I need to call 911? Um, but also, since 2015, my mom has fallen a lot. In part because she has a degenerative disc disease. So yeah, I'm always on edge. I'm always on edge. I am always listening. I kind of feel like I have PTSD here, and I would even say that goes back to childhood because it's also it's like I have a fight response to noise. And my dad was a very angry man. Very quick tempered, and if something was not to his liking, or if something pissed him off, he would yell, beat on things, slam things, and oftentimes I had to get up and find or fix or help in some way to make the situation better so he would calm down. So I do believe I'm dealing with PTSD, and I have been trying to, when I hear a noise, redirect my thought. This is not the first time redirecting thoughts. I've been doing this for years in other areas of my life, and it has worked great. And I guess I was on like day 8 of redirecting, if I heard a noise, instead of immediately thinking something was wrong, unless, there are certain, like a body hitting the floor, that sound, or going down steps, but just a regular little, instead of freaking out, just somebody dropped something. There's signs of life in the house. I'm trying to give noise a positive here. And my kid, oh my gosh, it was last Sunday. Of course, I don't even know when I'll get this uploaded, but it does not really matter. It was the 8th of January. I hear a noise, and at first I thought it was my mom getting up to go to the restroom, and she hit something on her way to the door. It didn't really sound like much more than a tiny little whack. But then I continued to hear someone coming up the steps. So I was like, okay, my kid's coming up the steps. Did he trip up a step? Did he drop something? I don't know. But it didn't sound like big enough noise for me to be concerned. And then he went back down the steps. 10 or 15 minutes later, I hear him bawling. Like, what on earth is going on? So I go check on him, because it's not that's an odd noise to hear him crying as hard as he was crying. I usually only hear that if someone has died. And I go check on him, and he's like, I just had a seizure. And he knew he did for certain. He came to in his bed, and he lost control of his bladder in the bed. But oh my God, his face, all the little blood vessels, everything was like busted. He looked like he had 2 black eyes. He has a scar right here that's usually white, from childhood injury, and it was purple. He had busted the veins all the way down in here. He had blood pooled in the whites of his eye. Actually, it's his right eye. So I'm like, he has no memory of going up the steps, and he has had episodes of a couple in the past where he's in a grand mal seizure, but he's up and moving. He's even like slowly said the sentence, I am having a seizure, before. He fights it so hard. But I was so, even though if the whack I heard was him hitting his head on the wall or the step or the banister or something, it already happened. There was not much I was going to change other than getting him medical assistance sooner. I've been like beating myself up that I ignored the sound. I ignored the fucking sound. I don't know, but it's also, I mean, there's more to that. I'm like frustrated. I'm like, as soon as I'm putting this into practice to get my mind out of this negative response to sound, my son has a seizure. Are you kidding me? I mean, but I don't know. I really I've had feelings of guilt that I've had to let go of. So yeah, it's just been really stressful. He is okay. I took him to the ER. They did not want to do a CT scan of his head, and I'm like, look at his face, look at his forehead. Look at his eye. They're like, no, he's fine. He's responding. He's cool. Get him into the neurologist, and she was like, I want a CT scan. So we got that done. The results should be back tomorrow, and hopefully everything is okay. He seems fine. Everything is clearing up. It just sucks, and he did miss a dose of medicine, so it wasn't really a breakthrough. It was provoked from a missed dosage. It's just so stressful. It's just so stressful. I'm seizures, man. I don't know why that's been my mission in life to deal with, but I've been dealing with seizures since I was about 16 years old. Um, that's all I can say about it. I wanted to talk about that, and I'm still practicing the trying not to have a such a response to noise, but at the moment it is rough. I'm trigger happy right now. I am really trigger happy. And like everything feels heightened. I mean, he was in the kitchen last night, and I mean, at this point, I know that he's just getting food or something, but it sounds so damn loud. I had to go, dude, are you getting food? Yeah. Like, you sound so loud. He's like, you're crazy, he's acting up or something. I was like, I know it is. I am trying to get myself out of this negative thought process. Because I was doing so well, and then everything fell apart in September, and I have a theory on that, but I'm not going to go into it. All right, I'm going to end it there.